I'm Elder up in one of the Twitter spaces. Definitely, I know you guys probably had to work like crazy. I know you hadn't been in the greatest of health lately, but shout out to you guys for able to get Dr. Claude Anderson up in that Twitter space. Ray, what's going on? I saw your tweet. I saw your message, Ray. I meant to hit you back. I saw it a couple minutes ago. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely see what's up with holding the space on that as well too. Shout out to everybody coming up in the space. What's going on with you guys tonight on this Monday? Refund Ice, what's up? Peace Be Still, what's up? Q, what's up with you? We're gonna be talking. We got a couple topics we want to touch up on. Definitely, you guys know last week the spaces we had. We started the week out, and then we ended on a political note with those gay spaces. If you guys didn't get a chance to hear that, definitely go ahead and you can catch it always on YouTube on the actual YouTube channel, or you can actually catch the spaces here on Twitter or X, whatever the hell it's called, X, Twitter, whatever. You can always catch those spaces here as well too. So definitely, if you missed those spaces, definitely go ahead and catch up on that. I'm glad that we're gonna kind of turn the corner and talk about something a little bit different tonight. It's still gonna be political, as you guys can see the actual topic up in hand. We're gonna be talking about Anchor Baby. We're going to be talking about the legacy because you always have this talking point about welfare versus slavery. Which one was worse for black people? I don't even know how anybody can even compare the two, to be honest. You know, when you hear people comparing the two, you know it's all about politics and actually catering to a certain demographic of people here. And no doubt that TimScott, we know exactly the demographic, him being in sixth place in the Republican field. We know exactly type of crowd he was trying to appeal to and to show them that he was down. Shout out to my people over there on YouTube. For all my folks on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and like tonight's program, share it, subscribe if you have not subscribed, leave a comment. Definitely go ahead. Once again, share, subscribe, like, comment. What's up, Extreme X? I see you over there. And like I telling everybody in the space tonight, guys, and sometimes the title's a little bit different. The YouTube channel says DJ. We talking about DJ Kool Herc's legacy. What's the Anchor Baby? TimScott on welfare being worse than slavery. TimScott, the only black Republican senator up in the Congress, talking about welfare, trying to make an argument that welfare actually was more detrimental to black people than actually slavery. So that's what we're going to touch up on tonight. Our people, they'll start coming up here in a second. As they come in, I'm going to go ahead and start digging into these actual topics tonight as well, too. And anybody that wants to jump up in, definitely feel free to jump up in as well too. I want to start off with this article from PBS. This article's back from 2015. It's from PBS and it's titled "What's Behind the Acre Babies Buzz Phrase." So if it seems a little bit outdated, it is. Like I said, it's from 2015. You're talking about an article almost 10 years ago, but I want to go ahead and touch up on that as well too. So I'm gonna start off talking about this article right here. Like I said, it's from PBS. It's in the Jumbotron. All three of the articles tonight, guys, are up in the Jumbotron. If you're on Twitter or X, if you're on YouTube, all three of the articles are up in the actual description as well, too. So you can check them out there. If you are in the actual space, guys, I also went ahead and created polls on all three of these topics tonight. They're on the left-hand side. We got a poll about Anchor Babies. We got a poll about DJ Kool Herc's legacy. We got a poll about TimScott saying that slavery is worse than welfare. Go ahead and vote in that poll and also retweet it out as well too. If you've already voted, that's cool. But if you haven't, go ahead and vote and make sure you go ahead and retweet it out as well too. Go ahead and retweet it out to your followers. What's up, DJ? Can you hear me? What's going on tonight?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Newstoter was good, family. How y'all feeling?
Doing good. Just wanted to make sure that the audio was good to go. Somebody's in traffic. Somebody's in traffic, but cool. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Let's see, Trouble up in here as well too. Let me go ahead and touch up on this real quick, guys. It says, "What's behind the Anchor Babies buzz phrase?" And like I said, this article is from 2015, guys. So if it's a little dated, you understand. PBS. It was from PBS. Donald Trump took heat when he spoke about Anchor Babies and seemed to relish the fallout from This latest statement in the race for the GOP presidential nomination. Then Jeb Bush echoed the phrase and found himself on defense and increasingly exasperated. Some call the phrase derogatory. Others, such as GOP candidate Ben Carson, that's a name we heard in a minute, dismissed the hubbub as silly political correctness. The back and forth is really about birthright citizenship. Native born children, born even to those living illegally in the U.S., are automatically considered American citizens under the Constitution's 14th Amendment. Whatever the issue, lasting value anchor babies is the latest buzz phrase, hashtag, and flashpoint in the volatile debate over who should stay in the U.S. and who should leave. Here's a look at the phrase and why people care. The American Heritage Dictionary used as a disparaging term for a child born to non-citizen mother in a country that grants automatic citizenship to children born on its soil, especially when the child's birthplace is thought to have been chosen in order to improve the mother's or other relatives' chances of securing eventual citizenship. The dictionary revised its definition in 2011 from one that did not mention the fact that some people consider the phrase demeaning. It's now marked as an offensive phrase. The Trump campaign asserts that 400,000 children are born each year to women in the country illegally. The actual number appears to be smaller, but is still sizable. A Pew Research Center study in 2010 estimated 340,000 babies born in 2008 with the offspring of people in the country illegally. But the term in question implies that people cross into the U.S. illegally for the purpose of giving birth to a child who will become a citizen. No one can know how many came with that motive, and there are other reasons that help explain why so many of these children are born U.S. born. The Pew study says younger people who come to the country illegally are considerably younger than legal migrants, legal immigrants, and both groups are younger than the population of U.S. born adults. In addition, immigrants have larger families. Altogether, the study says immigrants, whether they're in the country legally or not, are the parents of 23% of the children of all children in the U.S., even though immigrants make up only 13% of the population. The clearest benefit to having a child in the U.S. is that the child becomes a citizen, but what about the child's family? Immigration law holds that a citizen cannot sponsor relatives, including their foreign-born parents, for legal immigration benefits until they are 21 years old. So there's no short-term gain for the family in terms of citizenship. Under President Barack Obama's administration, immigration enforcement officials have been instructed to consider whether or not an immigrant living in the country illegally has U.S. citizen children when deciding whether the person should face deportation. But those with serious criminal histories or who are considered a threat to the public's safety or national security remain an enforcement priority. Aid workers in 1987 were quoted in news clippings at the time as referring to anchor children, offspring of Vietnamese boat people. The phrase anchor baby occasionally appeared in print over the next decade, but achieved prominence in 2006 during a new focus on immigration overhaul in the U.S. Grant Barrett nominated the term for American Dialect Society's 2006 Word of the Year. Immigration law can be painful public debate because it's really about who is an American who is obligated to pay taxes and obey laws, and who enjoys the right to vote, support a family, get educated, receive government help, and be protected by the military. It's a tricky moral question for a nation established by foreigners. It's socially uncomfortable and it's politically fraught. Republicans who see attracting more of the influential Latino vote as critical to their party's future. That Bush finds himself on the defensive on immigration policy shows how delicate a line all Republicans have to walk. He could be among the most appealing Republican to Hispanic voters. He's the governor of heavily Hispanic Florida, speaks Spanish, and has a Mexican-American family. And last year, he departed from the rhetoric of some of his GOP colleagues by declaring that illegal immigration is an act of love by people who want to give a better life to their families. Trump appearing on August 18th on Fox News' Bill O'Reilly show referred to the complex congressional action that would be required to change the 14th Amendment. I think it would take too long. I'd much rather find out whether or not anchor babies are citizens because of a lot of people don't think they are. A day later in the telephone interview on former education security Bill Bennett's Morning in America show, Bush called for better enforcement so that you don't have these, anchor babies as they described coming into the country. Democrat Hillary Rodham Clinton and others criticized Bush's use of the term. Bush responded in both English and Spanish. This is ludicrous for the Clinton campaign and others to suggest that somehow I was using a derogatory term. He said he was really referring to mostly the so-called birth tourism industry that flies predominantly wealthy Asian women to the U.S. to give birth so their children will have U.S. citizenship, a real phenomenon that has drawn concern from the Obama administration. Earlier this year, federal authorities served search warrants on 3 dozen homes in California as part of an investigation into businesses that fly Chinese expectant mothers to the United States, put them up in special hotels, and deliver their children. Authorities filed charges against 10 Chinese nationals who violated federal court orders in the case and fled the country. All right. Shout out to everybody coming up in the space, guys. We talking about I just got through talking about the anchor baby. What is an anchor baby? I'm definitely want to hear what people have to say about that as well too. I'm going to be touching up on DJ Kool Herc and his legacy, and we're going to also be touching up on TimScott, Republican Senator, South Carolina, made a real claim, a real crazy claim that basically welfare has been worse for Black people in this country than actual slavery. So we're going to touch up on that tonight as well too. What's up, Ray? I see you requested to come up here. What's going on with you tonight?
What's going on, everybody? So can y'all hear me? I'm sorry, I do have an AirPod trying to cook.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So about this whole anchor baby thing. So there's a video, you actually can look it up right now, where there's Russian women coming in purposely to give birth so that the kids can be, so the kids can have citizenship. So this whole notion of, they don't know how many people's coming in and how they got here and all this other stuff, it's been going on for a long time, so I don't see how they can possibly even try to claim that. And I'm interested to hear you talk about what you say his name was TimScott, and what he has to say about slavery being worse than welfare. Because if you're going to throw something out there as outlandish as that, you better have some statistics to back up what you're saying. But I know he doesn't. But just for the sake of argument, I would love to hear this coonery that is going to come out of his mouth. And lastly, those Reconstruction amendments, they weren't meant for everyone else. They were only meant for Black people. So, and I learned this from Dr. Claude Anderson. I think it wasn't to his face yesterday. It was another one that he had done a while back when he was talking about it. We need to be suing. It's the truth. Someone needs to start suing them and take, because when all this is going down, it wasn't no one else getting beat upside their head and all this other stuff. It was just Black people. And I land there.
All right. Thank you, Ray. TimScott doesn't have anything to stand on. TimScott, like I said before at the beginning of the space, TimScott's just looking to go ahead and curry favor with the most racist of the the Republican Party. He wants to show people that, he's against the status quo when it comes to race, because he's one of the main ones that he's forever saying that the United States doesn't have a race problem. The United States is not a racist nation as well, too. So he's saying any and everything that he thinks. TimScott knows that he's not going to be the Republican nominee. He knows that. But TimScott's vying for, hopefully that somebody, maybe Trump or whoever, basically Trump, because I'm sure he thinks Trump is going to be the one that wins, that maybe Trump will go ahead and take him along for the ride and make him his running mate. That way, they could possibly make history. He'd be the first ever Republican vice presidential nominee as well, too. So then that may help with the quote unquote the Republican Party's race issue. People say, oh, we can't be too racist. We got TimScott. TimScott's up here and he's up here running with Trump and this and that or whatever. So we can't be that racist. And so that's what TimScott's trying to do. TimScott, I don't believe deep down inside he believes that, but he knows that he knows that strikes a chord with a lot of white folks in this country. They love to hear that kind of stuff like that because, hey, even though the government was responsible for slavery, they have an issue. They have an issue putting the blame on the government. That was so long ago, and this, and we can't blame. But they don't have an issue going ahead and assigning something like welfare, saying, well, you know what, the government was the one that put welfare, and that Black people just got off of welfare, they wouldn't be up here begging for handouts and all this other stuff. So TimScott knows exactly what he's saying. He's no dummy. Extreme X says TimScott is a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy. He's doing his part there. Go ahead, Ray.
I just want to throw this in since we're talking about politics. I was going to ask you if you heard the rumor that Michelle Obama and possibly Oprah is going to try to take that seat from Dianne Feinstein. dinosaur that finally died, I believe in California. She was in the Senate for like 40, 50 years.
Now I know they temporarily put a black woman in the place, and I can't think of a name right now. It starts with an L. I tweeted out a couple articles about that. You got people sitting up here trying to say that they think Michelle Obama may run for president or something like that. I've heard that before. That crazy talk as well too. But they're trying to get and I cannot think of the sister's name. I tweeted out that, but Gavin Newsom put her up in that spot. The Phil Diane spot.
Is it really crazy? Because Trump won and he didn't have no real political experience. And you know how much black people love the Obamas. I'm not saying no one in this space, but I'm just talking in general.
Nothing is out of the because I know they're saying they want a black woman in there, and you'd be the first black female senator. She'd be the only black female senator. The one right now in there is a black female senator. So, you never know. I know people trying to say that they think that she may run for president or something like that. I don't see Michelle Obama, trying to compete against Joe Biden for the president spot. But you never know exactly what happened. But you're saying that people think that she may run, she may try to get that spot that Dianne Feinstein had.
That's just a rumor I've been hearing. Obviously, you know how rumors are. And I'm still sticking with my prediction. I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. I still believe Trump and DeSantis are going to be on the Republican ticket.
Oh, yeah. LaFonza Butler, that's her name. LaFonza Butler. That's Extreme X. He just put up in the actual Jumbotron as well, too. So, yeah. I don't know. Trump and DeSantis, I just don't see them getting along well enough. I thought at one time, that was a possibility, but you never know. If they did, it would make the Republicans a hard ticket to beat. I think that, definitely if you go ahead and put them in there, and I thought that would be a good thing for them before, but it just don't seem like they really get along that well. But I'm sure they could put politics aside and go ahead and do something they think, but you never know, man, at this point in time. You never really know. Original, I see you came up here as well too. Did you want to say something real quick before I jump into this Kool Herc? Touch up on this Kool Herc thing as well.
Yeah, let me say this one thing. Okay, now this thing with the anchor baby, that's been going on for quite some time. But like what Ray said, technically the 13th, 14th, 15th amendments were meant for us. It wasn't meant for but see what they did, and unfortunately, these black elected officials did not defend us, and they allow all these other groups to jump on that, just like when they started calling people minority and all this other garbage. They didn't defend us because I got to go back and listen to the entire thing, but I listened to some of the space with Dr. Claude Anderson on Saturday. And there was this sister that was on there with him, Dr. Rosie Milligan. And so I called I know Dr. Rosie. And I called her store. She has a book. She's a book publisher, and she has a store in I think it's still on Manchester in L.A. She said Saturday when she was on with Dr. Claude Anderson, now Newstoter, everybody put your seatbelt on because you may fall out. I don't want you to fall out your seat and break your hip, and you can't cuddle up with your wife or your husband tonight. But she said that these crazy folks in L.A., they was telling her to not say anything about reparations because she was high profile and she might get these people riled up. I'm like, that is the most insane. See, that's what.
Now, who said that? Who said that? Original again?
Dr. Rosie Milligan.
Okay.
And she called because I called her store Saturday. And I left my name and number, and she called me today. And so she's going to, her and this one attorney, they're going to be coming out this way, I think in like November or December, something to do with reparations. I said, good. She's going to send me a flyer because they're going to be here in Atlanta. I said, well, good. I said, I'll be there. because I've been looking to try to connect with people here in the metro area so that we can get some stuff done. Because this one brother that came on, he said they're having some type of gathering at this skating ring tomorrow. So I said I'm going to go and see what I can get out of that. But I'm looking for some serious people to be able to connect with, so we can begin to push, not just push, but push hard and make sure that we get what is owed to us. But that when you talked about the anchor baby, but did you hear Newstoter that this issue with DACA is going back to the courts? And so now that the Supreme Court is stacked the way it is, and it appears that this DACA it is not going to be held up by this Supreme Court, because that's whereby they said it's like 11 million people here that came here as children. Nobody told your family to bring you here, and so they're trying to get classified as being American citizens. I don't think they're entitled. They need to go back and get in line like everybody else. So that right there is going on as well. So people just be on the lookout, because there is so much that's going on as to where before I forget, let me say this. But Newstoter, did you hear about TimScott? See, this is why TimScott is on his knees bootlicking the way he is. Some of these big donors, Newstoter, they are questioning TimScott's sexuality, because he's never been married and he's running for Senate and he ain't got no girlfriend. And so they started questioning his sexuality. I don't see him calling them out or anything, but he gonna sit up there and say welfare was worse than slavery. How the hell is welfare gonna be worse than slavery? Hell with welfare, you didn't see people getting babies cut out of their stomachs and being raped and lynched and everything else. I mean, these people, they say this stuff. This is why we have to form some type of an alliance with people across the country, so that when people start saying stupid stuff like that, we make the block hot for them, where they can't come out and do anything. We make the block so hot, they get so scared that they're not going to do that again. Because to say that welfare was worse than slavery, that's beyond an insult. But see, that's how these old agents, they'll do. Because they'll do anything to keep in good favor with these white folks that don't like them. Because if the white folks cared about him, they wouldn't have said anything about his sexuality. But yeah, they've questioned, even the big donors have questioned his sexuality, but he's not saying anything to them. So I guess I guess we'll put it on the big donors. And I'm gonna land with that and let you go on and with the rest of the platform.
All right, appreciate that, original. We're gonna touch up real quick on I want to touch up on DJ Kool Herc. This article from Black Enterprise up in the Jumbotron that I want to speak on. Of course, a lot of people with the whole hip hop celebration thing and everything, and and we're gonna touch up on some of this tomorrow as well. Not particularly this topic, but once again, we're gonna have a space covering something about hip hop as well tomorrow. But about Fat Joe and BET bringing him back again. So we're gonna be touching up on that. Fat Joe, who's said a lot of anti-black stuff over there, and I know a lot of black people say, "Oh, I'm cool with Fat Joe and this and that," but Fat Joe was told time and time again to stop with the N-word, and he still drops it. But that's for tomorrow night. But a lot of people consider Kool Herc to be the father of hip hop, and definitely in a lot of these a lot of this advertisement and stuff that's been going around, because they've definitely marketed and capitalized off of this whole thing. The fact that when you got to worry about when they start putting dates on things like this right here, that's just another way of colonizing something. And now we've come up with an exact date. They got the exact date that hip hop started, which is the craziest thing I ever heard in my life. Now, I mean, nobody knows the date. I'm sure they don't know the date when classical opera music started, but now we have a date of when hip hop started. So that's just another way of going ahead and taking the actual credit for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and touch up on this real quick, and we're gonna get on the TimScott thing also. says hip hop pioneers DJ Kool Herc and Sidney Campbell, the headline panel at the Kennedy Center. Although the official birthday of what is considered uh, the birth of hip hop has passed, the celebration continues. A person who is called the father of hip hop, DJ Kool Herc, born Clive Campbell, and the woman with the title First Lady of Hip Hop, Sidney Campbell, his sister, will be making an appearance in Washington, D.C. at the end of the month for a panel discussion. From his Culture Talk series, the Kennedy Center will present the discussion from 1520 Sedgwick Avenue to the World, a fireside chat with DJ Kool Herc and Sidney Campbell on Friday, September 29, 2023 at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. The brother and sister will discuss how one party in the Bronx on August 11, 1973 helped spawn a movement and culture of the art form we've known as hip hop. The talk will be moderated by Grammy-nominated Ninth Wonder, the producer, DJ, college lecturer, music executive, social activist, and Kennedy Center Hip Hop Culture Council member. The Campbells will talk about the origins of hip hop and the culture movement that has changed the world as it has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. Early this year, on May 3rd, 2023, Herc was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the Musical Influence Award category. So, DJ Herc is actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts announced the fall programming for its 2023-2024 hip hop season, which includes celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. I'm excited to kick off our year-long celebration of 50th anniversary of hip hop this fall. Through these programs, we express our gratitude for the legendary icons who paved the way, uplifted, and who are shaping our present and set our sights on the future generations that will help us usher in the next 50 years, says Simon Eccleston, Director of Hip Hop Culture, Contemporary Music, in a written statement. I hope you'll join us in celebrating the culture and its golden anniversary. Members of the hip hop community who are expected to participate in various programs and discussions this fall season include Lupe Fiasco, T3 of Slum Village, D Nice, Grandmaster Flash, and Black Thought, to name a few. The next series to appear on the calendar is a Hometown Heroes Global Icon on Sunday, October 29th, 2023. Sound Architects, a producer, conversation with Timberland. It just amazes me the amount of resources and money that they shelling out into hip hop now, as this actual celebration is get this actual birthday or whatever just passed or whatever. I mean, they never pumped this kind of money into hip hop. It took a long time before hip hop, when it really reached the masses and reached mainstream to the level, and they still really didn't put money into it like that. They saw, allowed them to be on videos and MTV and things of that nature as well too. But now you got the Kennedy Center. You got all of this attention, all of this stuff that's pumped into it. And when you look at some of the artists, man, I mean, it's just really, really crazy how everything has changed. I wonder how many of those earlier pioneers that was there with DJ Kool Herc are also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too, because Herc, and I heard that he's not going to be on that, he's not going to be in that documentary that Tariq Nasheed has, but it's kind of funny when you heard Herc also mention that it was other people that would him and this and that. And it seems like in one sense he doesn't want to say he was the actual, he's the father of hip hop, but in another sense he like kind of enjoys the attention that he gets as well too. He's like, well, hey, I'm gonna kind of milk this for what it is. Like he ain't outwardly coming out like, well, I can't sit up here and say that I'm the father, this and that. It's like, yeah, he go ahead and he takes it and he's like, hey, if you want to hit me with this praise and sprinkle me with all of this, whatever, I'll take it or whatever. So it's kind of just, it's crazy. And the fact that, like I said, you got the Kennedy Center, you got all of these different things. You got corporate America's really pumped money into this whole thing here, from the all of the actual award shows, to the actual performances, to all of the, I mean, the stadiums they were renting out, to just, I mean, they have pumped tens of millions of dollars into actually promoting this actual birthday of hip hop. It's like they narrowed it down and they picked a date, and now everything like I said, it's the only musical genre to my imagination that I know that actually has a birthday. Not something that you estimate. Like they didn't estimate, they actually pinpointed. They locked it down. They say, hey, August 11th, 1973. That's when hip hop started. I've never seen that before in my lifetime. I've never seen them actually pinpoint whether it was R&B, whether it was jazz, whether it was blues, whether it was bluegrass, whether it was gospel, they have never, ever, ever pinpointed an actual day that this actually went. Not only a day that it actually, but an actual party. Like they got the street address, they got the night, they got the day, they got all of this stuff when actually hip hop was actually created. And not only is he the father of hip hop, but his sister's also the first lady of hip hop as well, too. So take that for what it's worth. And nobody's knocking DJ Kool Herc because he is definitely a contributor. He definitely played a part in it as well, too. But the simple fact that he gets all of the accolades and stuff like that, and it's just it's something. It's something. Original, go ahead. You got your hand up.
Yes, I find, yeah, you're right. I find this interesting that they have an actual date. And see, I've seen videos of Kool Herc saying that when he started this, that he was playing reggae music or dance hall or whatever. He said Black America wasn't buying that, and then said that he was with some. He has already said that he was rocking with some Black American brothers, and he just pulled resources from them. So it is going to be interesting to see this documentary that Tariq Nasheed has coming out. And I want to see how he's going to try to refute that. And that's why when I do my meditations and stuff, I put it out there to place protection around Tariq and his family, because these people are sick. They would do anything to try to steal what we created. Because it's like that, what's that? There's some guy, he's on Spotify, that he interviewed Tariq. And he said that when Tariq told him that they did not create hip hop, he said, yes, we said, no, you didn't. And when Tariq broke it down for him, he was like, oh, I thought we know. I've seen all kind of videos where Jamaicans and other people said they got inspiration from Black America. Just like the lady in that hit piece from the LA Times. She said she was influenced by Diana Ross and these other people. And see, that's the problem. They go along with these white folks, and primarily the small hats, just so they can get a little check, and they don't have an issue stabbing us in the back. So this is going to be interesting to see, because there has been numerous videos all out there online, I think with Kool Herc saying that he did not create this. So if he's not the creator, then that only leaves one other group, and that's Black America.
But here's the thing, Original, what you say, like the videos of him saying that he's not the creator. Like in one sense, it seems like and I've heard people say there's videos where he goes ahead and he gives credit to other people, and he doesn't really try to take. But a lot of times when people come and they shower him with all these praises. Oh, you're the father, you're the founder, you're the godfather, you're this, you're that, or whatever. You never see him, like, especially if it's a big media apparatus that's talking to him. He never says, he never shies away from that. It's like he embraces it. Like so you would like to see him and say, you know what? I can't sit up here and say that I'm the father of this or I'm the founder of this or whatever. I like to look at myself more as a participant or somebody who actually took part in it and to help spread it or whatever. But you never hear Herc really say that. It's like it seems like for the most part he sits up here and he knows that the people are going to go ahead. Let's be for real. He got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Think of all of the legendary performers and everything else. He got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and not even as an artist. So you know how influential you have to be if you're not an artist and you get put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You're talking about the size of your impact and this and that or whatever. His impact from what the public is saying is enormous. To be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a rapper, let's be for real, for a long time, they wouldn't put rappers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But for the fact of the matter that Kool Herc is not a rapper, but he's somebody he's considered that influential, that important to the actual culture, to the actual genre of the music, and he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's what I'm saying. When a lot of times they come up with this issue and they're asking him stuff like that, it doesn't seem like he says, hey, kind of like, well, let me walk this back a little bit. It's like, hey, I'll embrace it. If you want to say I'm the godfather, I'm the founder, I'm the daddy of it, I take it.
Well, see, what you have to realize is this. See, that's just another indicator that states that he is on the take. Because see, he knows he didn't create this. Because there's one other brother who said that Kool Herc was running with him, and he said that he didn't know that Kool Herc was Jamaican until he went to his house. See, they love to try to cosplay and pretend to be Black American, knowing that they're not. Because there was another brother. He produced a record album. Well, he displayed a record album that showed Bob Marley and the Wailers. They were influenced by Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. He showed both albums whereby Smokey Robinson and the Miracles they were standing in this certain pose, and then turn around, Bob Marley and the Wailers in the same pose, just like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. So these people, they know that they did not contribute to us. If they did, it was very minute. But it was us who influenced them. But they want to come in because they have decided to side with the white people and try to disrupt what we have done. But see, I am so happy that we have Tariq Nasheed. I know some people don't like him. Hey, that's between them and him. But as for me, I'm happy the brother is doing what he's doing, because if it wasn't for him, they would have just railroaded this thing all the way through. And when this documentary come out, we're going to see where they all are going to be standing, because, see, you can lie all you want, but the truth is just that, the truth. And Kool Herc, no, he did not start this. He played it was another video where he said something about he took those, the beats or the breaks from James Brown. And everybody, all these folks have stolen from Soul Brother #1, James Brown. All of them stole from him. And so they're going to have to explain that. And see, that is one of the reasons why they got this vehement hate for us. Because they know, just like what's his name, Lil Richard. He says he's the originator. Like, we are the originator, we the creators. They just some tag-alongs trying to steal from us, you know. And just like, you know, one of the reasons that the Small Hats and others were mad at Michael Jackson, when Michael Jackson bought that Beatles catalog had a lot of these old artists from like the 50s and all, like Little Richard. And Michael Jackson gave them their music back so that they could live a comfortable life. That's the other reason why the media went haywire on Michael Jackson, calling him all kind of things. They tried to put this child sex abuse. This one little white boy that just recently passed, whose name was Aaron Carter. He said that, I think this is when Oprah was doing that hit piece on Michael Jackson on HBO. He said they offered him $1 million just to say Michael Jackson touched him. And that was not true. And he wouldn't do it. And so that's where we are, because, see, Oprah can't be, her and Gail straight up agents. So we can't trust any of these people. This is why it is very important that we band together as tight as we can, and we move in sync around this country. Because just like when Dr. Anderson was on this Twitter space on Saturday, this one sister came on and she said it was an after space or whatever, and she told these people, forget about what you're gonna call yourself. Just get the damn money. That's what it's about. It's about the check, not what we're gonna call ourselves. Whatever we gotta call ourselves to get the check, let that be that. Let all this other foolishness go to the wayside. But yeah, I'm gonna land with that, the Newstoter. But yeah, we just have to understand that. See, these people, these black immigrants, they come here. Just like now, you got this, what's the boy named Burna Boy. He up here doing like the Running Man and trying to say he created that. Like, people like you, hey, we did that back in the 90s. What's wrong with you? Go somewhere and sit down. See, they all hate us, but they love to steal what we have created. But now, and there are other people, other young people like Tariq that are making documentaries and videos showing the truth about our culture. So as long as we have that, we are right, and I'll land with that.
All right. Thank you, original guys. Like I said, up in the Jumbotron, we got the actual polls in there. It's 3 polls on tonight's conversation. So if you're on Twitter or X up in the Jumbotron, you guys can go ahead and you can vote. You can vote on this Anchor Baby thing. Is it offensive? You can vote on DJ Kool Herc. Is he the founder of hip hop? You can also vote on slavery and the welfare question as well. I see we got a YouTube comment, Renee LaRock, and LaRock, that's a popular name in terms of hip hop. That's a very, very popular name. She says he admitted that hip hop started in 1970 and he stole part of DJ John Brown's playlist from the Plaza Tunnel where he used to go to do graph writing and breaking. So shout out to you, Renee. Thank you for that comment. Let me go ahead real quick. I'm gonna get to Jay. Jay, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, brother. How you doing? Peace for peace, Newstoter. Peace for
Peace.
I want to piggyback off the brother Original Blood. The brother he was talking about with Kool Herc was his friend was the first MC out of New York. His name was DJ Kool Herc. So he's on YouTube and he broke it down. He said he didn't even know, like you said, he didn't even know he was Jamaican until he went to his house. He copied everything from them. Like he didn't come, they pushed the narrative that he came from Jamaica and he showed everybody about the speakers and DJing. No, he learned from other brothers. The young brother out of Brooklyn is Grandmaster Flowers. God bless him. He passed away. He's from Brooklyn. He's like, I think he was the youngest that DJ for our ancestor, James Brown. I believe he had a concert in Madison Square Garden in Hope One. But he definitely DJ'd for James Brown. Another brother, DJ Disco Mario. They just named a street after him in the Bronx. Excuse me. He's one of the original black spades out of New York, out of the Bronx. And Kool Herc learned from him also. Also the DJ that I just spoke, I forgot his name. But there's numerous DJs that were doing it way before Kool Herc. Hip hop did not start in 73. I'm 49, I'll be 50. And learning from my uncles and all that. I don't know why they pushing that narrative, but y'all got it. I said what it was to be said. At the end of the day, you go on YouTube and you put up the black spades hip hop. Our brother Tariq, he's doing a wonderful thing, bring out that documentary. But if you go on YouTube and you put in the black spades, the baby spades with hip hop, it's going to show you so much. The first break dancer, you know, the ones that really started the hip hop in the parks. It didn't start at Sedgwick Avenue. It started on the other side of the Bronx. They just pushing this narrative for Kool Herc. It's deep. It's deep. So I just want to put that in there. I don't want to be long-winded. So peace to the room.
Peace to you, brother. Appreciate that. And yeah, I just, I'm having a issue with that. And one thing I always wondered too, like, why won't more of the, some of the black people in New York actually speak up and say something about this? It seems like, a lot of the black people up in New York, and it's kind of an issue that, we kind of have. Like, well, there's still people act like there's no black Americans in New York. There's plenty of black Americans in New York and stuff. Why won't they say, you know what, we disagree with this? I know the media's got a hold of it now. And once the media go ahead and they got the money and everything else, they pretty much let them run with this whole scenario or whatever. Like, you don't hear any, and it's not even New York either. Because and we got some rappers that's pretty vocal. Like they're really vocal. Like I don't hear any of these rappers say anything like when Fat Joe say something like, it's a 50-50 creation and this and that or whatever. I ain't heard not one black rapper come out and check Fat Joe. Like, nah, Fat Joe. It wasn't no 50-50. If it was 50-50 when we came out rapping in the 80s and stuff like that, it'd have been just as many of y'all as it is us. Like, I don't hear any of the black people, and I'm not even going to limit it to New York. When Fat Joe comes out and says stuff like that now, I believe the black people in New York should say something about the creation and the founding of it more so. But you have somebody like Fat Joe come out, you don't hear nobody check Fat Joe on the N-word or none of that. Like I said, I ain't even going to get into Fat Joe tonight because that's for tomorrow night. He's going to be part of the discussion tomorrow night. So I'm going to save him for tomorrow night. And I'm going to talk about Usher wearing the skirt too as well, because I don't know what the hell that's about. But that's tomorrow's night discussion. I'm not even going to go ahead and get into it. But I'm just trying to figure out why a lot of the black Americans in New York don't say anything about some of this stuff when you guys, that's an art form that that you created and you crafted and everything else like that, but you guys don't sit there and you don't say anything. And now it's to the point that when you start mentioning the creators of it and everything, like black people in America name is coming dead last after everybody else has been mentioned. Oh, this person created. Oh, it came from the Caribbean. It came from Latin America. It came from Africa. Oh yeah, and Black Americans, they had a part in it as well too. Like what are we talking about here? You don't hear anything. Like it's like quiet as kept. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on up there in the Big Apple. I know y'all are very vocal and stuff. Why don't we have more? And I'm talking about prominent. I know it's a difference. I know you may have some hip hop dudes on the scene, but I'm talking about big names. I'm talking about even if you weren't there at the very initial when it was founded, you got Big Daddy Kane and you got other rappers and stuff like that as well too. Why don't we have some big name rappers actually saying something about some of this stuff right here? It's like nobody's saying anything whatsoever. So to me, that's interesting. Like I say, and for it's the birthplace of hip hop, but then like the people that actually created it, we ain't hear nothing from them. It's like, oh well, I don't want to start no trouble. Let me just, if I say something, 60% of the people that come out to support me, they may not show up. So let me just, like, it should never got to that point. Never. We've seen time and time again, when you start letting things go, it doesn't take much for people to take stuff from black people in this country and claim it as their own. It don't take much. If it's not like another group of people, like people that have a foreign background that created something with black people, then it's poor white folks that created it with them. It's always there. I'm surprised they haven't eventually thrown like poor white folks up in it as well. It was a bunch of poor white folks that came over there from Queens, and they also contributed to the founding of it. Like it just never fell. So that's my thing right there. Like I want to know what's what. Texwell, go ahead and unmute your mic. And real quick, Tex, before you unmute your mic, guys, up in the Jumbotron, we have the Newstoter YouTube channel up there. For anybody that's on YouTube that have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you like, share, comment, share tonight's broadcast. Anybody in the space that has not, if you're not following Newstoter on Twitter, make sure you guys follow me. If you're in YouTube, make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms as well too. That's also in the description for those that can support us. On Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. I'll say it again. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. If you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron. For those that want to support on YouTube, we have all the links to the Cash App and the Venmo and PayPal up in the actual description. Texwell, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you for the space, brother Newstoter, and welcome to all the family tonight. I would say that
peace,
peace, brother and sisters here. I would say that in terms of the artists have never been in front. The artists have always followed the people when it comes to movements and activism. So they got to see which way the wind is blowing because they have handlers. And the handlers have to give them the okay. So only after they see a mass movement, a critical mass of people doing a certain thing, the handlers will say, okay, guys, we need you guys to be in style now. You guys got to get with this reparations thing, because this thing is getting big, and we don't want you guys to look like you're not out of touch with the people. So that's the way it's always been. That's all I got to say.
Appreciate that, Tex. You don't hear many of them saying nothing about it. I mean, it used to be a time politically they would say something. You'll hear, how many rappers do you hear say anything about reparations whatsoever? I don't hear them say nothing about reparations. I don't hear them say nothing about group economics. I don't hear. Only time I hear them when they come out, it'll be voting time, and they tell, oh, we need to get to the polls, and we got to go out there and vote. Like I don't hear them say anything whatsoever. As much as this reparation thing has been out here for the past 4 or 5 years, you don't hear any of these rappers, and I'm talking about even the so-called quote unquote the conscious ones nowadays. You don't hear them pushing the reparation talking points any. So what's up with that? Let me get real quick. Renee LaRock said they lied and said one of the founders, DJ Disco King Mario, was Puerto Rican. They used that to justify the 50-50 lie. Extreme X said they rather attack black people on the West Coast when it comes to hip hop. He also said King Mario is from North Carolina. He moved to the NY. So thank both of you guys for your contribution on that comment as well too. Ray, you had your hand up, right? Ray, you had your hand up at one time, didn't you? You low, Ray. You low.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I'm trying to cook, man. We were talking about hip hop and all this other stuff. So if the Puerto Ricans created like you said, then my question is, are there more Puerto Rican hip hop artists? Like, it doesn't make any sense. If you created, I can someone come and dominate it. Even now, the only ones really, I think it was Pitbull, Fat Joe. That's like the only two out that's really popping right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense like that. Like I said, if you were actual equal contributor to it, and you would have actually been out there front and center, and it would have just been just as many. I know y'all remember that iconic scene in "Do the Right Thing" where you got Radio Raheem coming down the street. He got his huge radio out there, and he's playing Public Enemy, fight the power, and then he comes across like the Puerto Rican cats, and it's almost like a battle who can put their music up the louder. He's playing hip hop, they're playing their Puerto Rican music, and he shuts it down or whatever. And they're like, "Hey, you got it, Holmes." Like, so stop it. Come on, stop. Like, that was an iconic scene. Like, he shut it down, and the boys wanted to fight him after he shut it down. So stop. Go ahead, DJ. You got it.
Hey, now go ahead. Let the people go. I see original text got the hand up. What's up, family? Newstoter in the building. Share the room out, man. Hip hop is Black American. Stay mad.
Oh yeah, but real quick before I get to you guys, let me go ahead and touch up on this other article. It's really, really short, quick, in case you guys want to touch up on that. Y'all know, feel free. We're going to be talking about all three of these topics tonight, going back and forth. So let me go ahead. This is from News One. It's up in the Jumbotron. Also in the description on YouTube, it says, TimScott claims LBJ's Great Society welfare program was worse for Black families than slavery. The lone Black candidate participating in the second Republican presidential debate, and I see we got somebody requesting. They got pressure coming up, so let them up, DJ. The lone Black candidate participating in the second Republican presidential debate said Wednesday in no uncertain terms that while he thought slavery had no redeeming qualities, the lingering adverse results from the enslavement of Black people in America were nothing compared to the racial consequences from a landmark federal social welfare program in the 1960s. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott was responding to a question about Florida's controversial school curriculum teaching students that slaves benefited from slavery. But while Scott criticized Florida's educational standards, he also managed to send a backhanded slap to Black America. Black families survived slavery. We survived poll taxes and literacy tests. Scott 58 lectured the audience at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in Simi Valley, California, before adding, "We survived discrimination being woven into the laws of our country." Up until that point, Scott was on to something, but then he took it there and resorted to the widely debunked right-wing talking point that Black fathers were absent, a misconception he trumpeted as a fact and attributed to President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society welfare program. Scott said the Great Society was hard to survive for Black families compared to slavery. Yes, really. What was hard to survive was Johnson's Great Society, where they decided to put money, where they decided to take the Black father out of the household to get a check in the mail. Scott concluded without any data to back up his hollow point. It was quite the take from Scott, who also during the debate on Wednesday night in California, vehemently reiterated his belief that the United States is not a racist nation. On January 4th, 1965, Johnson addressed the nation to unveil his Great Society plan that he said rests on abundance and liberty for all and demands an end to poverty and racial injustice. Over the next several years, this vision was embodied in a series of ambitious federal laws and programs aimed at breaking down the barriers blocking full and fair access to opportunity and prosperity. The Great Society legislation ranged widely across the social and economic policy landscape. It included landmark civil rights legislation and the creation of Medicaid and Medicare, new strategies for tackling urban blight and neighborhood distress, job training initiatives, and expansion of minimum wage coverage in support of early child education. The Great Society was also designed in part to provide help for unemployed parents preparing to enter the workforce. That may be what Scott was falsely alluding to during the debate, and a disingenuous comparison that suggested the above social programs were hard to survive for Black families in relation to slavery, which of course tore apart Black families in the most ruthless and inhumane ways. But Johnson's successor, former President Richard Nixon, went on to popularize the now reliably Republican talking point that the Great Society was nothing but government handouts that disincentivize entering the workforce, the same rationale Republicans in 2023 cite for opposing government programs like the expanded child tax credit, whose expiration last year has led to growing child poverty. Despite all the above, Scott will still have people viewing the debate Wednesday night think that Johnson's Great Society social welfare program was harder for black families to survive than slavery, a demonstrative social scourge that is all but the basis for the ongoing systematic racism and contributes to the social scourge like the racial wealth gap that keeps widening nearly 158 years after slavery was abolished. The truth is that Scott, who's running in distant sixth place among all candidates seeking Republican presidential nomination, likely planned the anti-black soundbite about the Great Society in an effort to energize his base and attract new supporters to his fledgling campaign. After all, recent polls suggest that white people like it when Scott downplays racism in America. All right. Original, go ahead. You got it.
Oh yes. See, here's the issue with with that little black boy TimScott. If welfare was worse than slavery, then how is it that you had you had quite a number of black women who were on welfare, who got an education and got off welfare and went into professional careers? So see, he's leaving on all of that, and see this part of that benign neglect they like to throw at us. Now see, and said it put fathers out of the home, but see, check it. Remember Newstoter a few years ago? It was a report that came out from, of all places, the CDC, and it stated that black fathers were more involved in their children's lives than any other demographic. So, if that is true, what does that say? That black fathers from the 50s, 60s, 70s on up, they've always been involved in their children's lives. Now, there were some instances where, some black men just left for whatever reason, and then some women would not allow them to see their children. But this report stated that black fathers were the most involved in their children's lives than any other demographic. So all this stuff that he's talking about is just garbage. And like I said before, TimScott has to side with these white folks because these big mega donors, they are questioning his sexuality as far as if they would give them money, and he's not going to move. I don't care what he get on his knees and do to these white folks. He is not. His percentage is not going to increase. And let's not forget, Newstoter. Remember when he said that America wasn't a racist country? Then you had Kama Sutra Kamala. She came out and said the same thing. And see, but Newstoter, I got to put this video up. I'm gonna send it out. I'll try to do it tonight because I recorded it. But there's this little political program here in Atlanta, and so they was talking about Kamala Harris came to Atlanta, and see what she's doing now. She is coming to these HBCUs trying to drum up support, but a lot of the people at the HBCUs are not Black Americans. And this one white lady, it's a black guy that's on this show too. So she said, well, the problem that Kamala has is black people. She said black folks don't like her, and we don't. We don't like her, and they know we don't like her, and they know we're not coming out to vote for her. But I gotta put that video out so people can see it, and it is funny because even the black guy, he really didn't have anything to say after the white lady said that that black folks don't like Kamala, and we don't like her. No, she's not one of us. And as far as these artists, Newstoter, see, I think the reason that a lot of them are quiet, Newstoter, because you see some of these artists, they're still being controlled because they need access to these venues in order to try to still make a living. See, even in the 60s and 70s, some people call them a little hole in the wall, but black people had their own little entertainment, own little clubs or whatever. I remember this one club. It was a small club. I went there, after I became of age. But Al Green played it. They played at these little small black clubs back in the day. But see, now the small hats and others, they if they get out of line, they will prevent them from making any money. You see, just like Snoop. Snoop come out here calling black folks crazy if they vote for Donald Trump. That's another agent that they have. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's why these people are like that, and even Newstoter with this Great Society program. But what we have to remember is this: every time we fought for something and we obtained it, both the white Democrats and Republicans, they would always start a propaganda campaign to try to destroy it. For instance, they would always say that affirmative action is a quota system. Affirmative action never has been a quota system. It was about giving qualified black people an opportunity. So you had people wonder why the post office worked so well. You had a lot of black people. Some of them had graduate degrees, masters and PhDs working at the post office because they could not get a job anywhere else. And that's why the post office has worked as well as it has all these decades. It's because of black folk. So if people really want to see what the truth is, because I tell you what's going on now, there's a brother that delivered the mail to my job, and he's getting ready to retire. And I can see that, and I know the days that he is not there, and when he is, because if this whatever mail, he'll kick it underneath our door, and and we get the mail and whatever. But see, he has a work ethic that some of these young people don't have, and it's going to be interesting to see how the post office operate after all these older people begin to retire. It's going to be, as my grandfather would always say, it's going to be a mess in this town. And I land with that.
All right, thank you, Original. I see Black Pressure came up here as well too. DJ, I know you had your hand up, but you wanted to let the other people up in the space go ahead and get it in. But go ahead, and nobody got the hand up at this moment.
Oh, okay. No, I was inside of the little chat right here. So get in the chat. Get in the Jumbotron. There's a lot of great information up there. Make sure you come up to newstoter.com, social.com, soxeil.com. You already know. Support the platform. So Kool Herc, you didn't create anything. It is what it is, But I agree with what you said. Hey, if everyone else is giving him this kudos and his props and his respect, saying, hey, look, you just that and the third, and he really not trying to say, hey, look, nah, it's not like that, and give credit to where it's really due, because you're not the originator of that. You feel what I'm saying? And then the other thing is too, you gotta understand that it ain't nobody black up in New York. AOC was right, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez. Oh no, my man, you know what I mean? Who's black in America? When someone was asking her, do you support reparations for black people? She only said that because she's from Queens, and it ain't no black people around here like that anymore. That say, hey, look, I'm a black American. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just want to be in the mix of what everyone else is doing. I'm talking about our people up here in the north. That's how we roll, yo. We too busy being in the mix of everyone else's shit instead of worrying about what the hell we're doing. So this is why we don't own anything up here. We don't own none of these skyscraper buildings up here. All this shit should be ours, yo. Fat Joe, if it's really 50-50, show me the Curtis Blow of Puerto Rico, bro. Show me the James Brown, you feel what I'm saying, the Temptations. Show me all that shit that came before, you feel what I'm saying, in Puerto Rico, though. That shit don't make sense. You can't say anything. So when you got other people like Busta Rhymes, too, running around saying, hey, look, ain't no culture here in America. Hold up, man, who you specifically referring to? Because America is now what they call it, amalgamation or something like that, a multitude of cultures and shit. You know what I'm saying? Meaning it's everybody and their mama here. Well, when it comes to the curation of who did what, we the ones with all the patents. And imagine how many patents were stolen from us through the course of slavery and Jim Crow and segregation and all this other stuff. We can't still get banking business loans to this day. Can't get a house loan, car loan, bank loan, any type of personal loan. That shit ain't going through. I don't care if you score 850 and you always pay your bills and shit. Ain't getting nothing because the SBA just got denied a racial discrimination case by that Tennessee judge. So if you got approval but for clause and still have to turn around and write the SBA a letter saying that, hey, I was discriminated against. Who the hell reading that? And definitely not the Spanish lady, Ms. Guzman, that is the head of the SBA. She not reading that shit. That shit going in the shredder machine, son. So what is it we doing as a people moving forward? When you got jokers like TimScott, whatever, Tim, Coon gang in the building. You know what I'm saying? You over here saying America is not a racist country. America is not this, that, and the third. It's this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? You know damn well you sit up there, obviously, and with your boots, and while these white jokers call you nigga all day. You're used to the shit, so it's like, it rub off your shoulder and shit. Brush the dirt off your shoulder. That's all you're doing, Tim. So when you're talking about all this welfare and all this other stuff, hey, white folks are the main people that are on welfare. Why didn't you bring up Brett Favre, son? And that $5 to $10 million he stole from the people of Mississippi that was supposed to have gotten the welfare, white and black alike. You know what I mean? Where that money at? And now for Brett Favre blocking you. He should have his Hall of Fame career taken, his jacket taken, his Super Bowl ring taken. He should be stripped and have all your records just thrown in a heap of fire, bro. You know what I mean? But they don't say nothing to these white folks and go ham on them. Why the white mass media ain't talking about these folks like that? Shit is real, man. You know what I mean? Shit is real. And the anchor baby thing, what was that about again?
Just basically about immigrants. It started like, of course, it started way back in the day. They say in the 80s and stuff, but it kind of took off when Trump started running for president. They basically talk about the anchor baby situation and he was saying something like 400,000 a year are born in the country. I think it's something like close to like 300 and some thousand. But hey, it's just like, do you consider anchor baby basically? What is an anchor baby, and do you consider anchor baby an offensive term, or do you consider it to be true?
So basically, in the term form of use, I understand what it is. That's what the definition of it. But when we're saying anchor baby, are we just talking about immigrants that came here, like you said, post 1985?
They talking about basically anybody that comes. Basically, if anybody that comes over here that basically that's pregnant. That with the whole idea, hey, I'm illegal, but I'm going to use this child to go ahead and one day, pretty much anchor myself in to become an American citizen. I'm gonna use this child who because of this child, I can stay over here. Yeah,
I got you. That's why Trump was right. There you go. And birthright citizenship, because any of these jokers, they're like these Asians for the most part that come over here day in and day out, getting these pregnancy centers. They have birthing centers. That's what they're called. Look it up. Birthing centers in California for Chinese people or Asians, Japanese, all of them. They all do it. The Russians, they all do it. Come over here, have birthing centers, have their baby here. Now your baby's a citizen, but they wind up sending the kid back to their home country to learn, do whatever it is they need to learn, because obviously the education here is trash. These kids can't read worth of shit, you know what I mean? So they'll turn around and send them back over here to pick up and run on whatever family business. You see what I'm saying? So this is another reason why Xi Jinping, China, CCP, trying to do that Belt and Road initiative. He ain't only really doing that so he can put his peoples in position. But we be seeing numbers now that their citizenship in their country, as far as their numbers, are declining too as well. China got 1.5 billion, but there's certain shit going on in their country as far as they be. It's like a slavery still going on over there, on some real shit with certain demographic of Chinese, like the Uyghur Muslims. They be killing them jokers to take harvesting their organs, stuff like that. So their population is being declined too as well. Whether with WAS-related issues, this is why you see Chinese rolling up in Africa, rolling up in Jamaica, rolling up in the Caribbean, coming here to America, buying up these military bases, buying up this farmland here in America. Man, if y'all don't put a stop to that shit, America, but you got too many of this backdoor shit with these politicians just getting money. Look at Bob Menendez, Spanish joker. Lock his ass up. This ain't the first time he's been gripping up here in New Jersey. Lock his dumb ass up and his wife. Y'all dumb as hell. How the hell you got gold bars and bands of money sitting in your jacket pocket, just sitting there in the hallway? Like your house can't get raided or some shit, you know what I'm saying? And when they raided it, they obviously looking through everything. The shit sitting right there out in the open. You ain't even tried to hide the shit. God damn, bro. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, like he was like just keeping that. Why not put it up in one of them security boxes at the bank or whatever? Why you gonna be like you say, sitting around there? At least I'm gonna have it in a vault or some kind of vault or something, the safe or something like that. It just ain't gonna be laying around, whatever. So any and everybody, like you say, you get raided, here they come up into your crib and whatnot as well too. So I don't know what the hell that was going on. Like we were talking about with what's his name, Tim Scott. Tim Scott just sitting up here timing. I mean, when you sit up here and you can actually sit up here and something like that can come out your mouth. And true enough, I know a lot of people feel a certain way about welfare and stuff like that. And a lot of it has some truth in it and whatnot, but nothing in this country is worse than no goddamn slavery, man. You sitting up here just totally up here showing your teeth and grinning, skinning and grinning for these white folks up here, knowing damn well you have a better chance of hitting the lottery than you do become being the front man for the Republican Party. You know damn well you have no chance, and the reason you're doing it, like I said, you're hoping that somebody will pick you along, that Trump will pick you up. That's who you really think, Trump, because DeSantis and them, unless something drastically changed, no matter what they keep throwing at Trump, it don't seem to be sticking on him. I mean, so it's almost like he's Teflon at this point in time when it comes to these charges. Unless something really sticks, they're going to have a hard time getting past Trump. And you hoping that Donald Trump picks you up and he'll tell you like he told other black people a few years ago, there go my Negro right there. There go my African American, whatever you said, there go my African American. And you can tag along because that's the only way you're going to ever get to the White House. So there's absolutely zero chance that you have of actually winning the Republican nomination. Ain't no way in hell. Ain't no black person finna win. Let's be for real. Ain't no black person finna win the Democrat nomination no time soon either. They learned from Barack Obama. They said we had our one in there, and we ain't trying to have it again. No matter how liberal and all this other they supposed to be, the Democrats not looking to snatch another black person in there. They may go ahead and try to go ahead and find him a black person as a VP candidate down the road. And I guess they consider Kamala a black person or whatever. But that's another story for another time as well too. But nah, so you just sitting up here lying and whatnot. And the anchor baby thing, like I said, I think that was just you hear that term so much, anchor baby, and I figure like, hey, we might as well talk about it because it was something I remember some years ago. And I'm like, anchor baby. I'm like, what the hell is an anchor baby? And started reading up on it. Like, damn, like this is, like, hey, it is what it is. Because I mean, you always, even as a kid, I always heard like, hey, if somebody comes over to this country and they have a child, they're automatically a U.S. citizen. And I always thought that that doesn't make any sense. Even as a child, like you have no ties to a country, you up and leave. And then just simply because you give birth on a land that makes you an actual citizen like that was the craziest thing I ever heard. I don't know if they're gonna ever get rid of the birthright thing or anything like that, but I thought that law made absolutely no sense. That hey, you have no ties to this country, anything else, you're coming over here simply with the fact that hey, I'm gonna have a child and I'm gonna be an American because of this child. This child's gonna be an American, and because this child's American, it makes it that much harder to go ahead and deport me or get rid of me because, hey, my child's here. My child's an American citizen, and my child needs the parents. So ridiculous to me. But go ahead, DJ. Anybody else that wants to speak to as well, feel free to come on up here. Like I say, guys, we're gonna have a space tomorrow night as well. Let me see if I put that up in the Jumbotron, the actual space for tomorrow. I thought I put it up in there. Damn, I must have put the space for tomorrow night up in there. I'm going to go ahead and put that up in there so y'all can take a look at it. Like I said, we do have the polls up in the action. Go ahead and vote in those polls and tweet them out as well, too. Let me read the first poll to you. It says, do you consider anchor baby an offensive term? So far, we got 185 votes. There's 2 days left on that. 87% of the people say no, they don't consider it offensive. 6% say yes, 4% says maybe, 2% says not sure. Okay, I see we got somebody requesting to come up here and speak. Somali against Pan-African. Let me go ahead and see what the other poll said. Do you agree with TimScott that the welfare program was worse for black people than slavery? We got 110 votes so far, 2 days left. 85% say no, they don't agree with him on that. 12% said yes, 2% says maybe, 1% says not sure. Okay, let's check another one out real quick. The last one, it says, And this one is the DJ Herc post. A DJ Kool Herc said, "Is DJ Kool Herc the true founder of hip hop?" We got 206 votes. 2 days left on this one here as well. 89% says no, he is not. 5% says yes. 2% says maybe. 3% says not sure. So, guys, definitely go ahead. Make sure you go ahead and if you have not voted in that, please go ahead and vote in that. Also, go ahead and retweet that out as well too. Let some of your followers get a chance to go ahead and participate in those polls. 3 polls that we got going on. They'll be on for another couple days. So definitely, if you have not already participated in it, definitely go ahead and retweet it out as well too. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, for TimScott to say America's not a racist country too, by the way, it's like, is this Joker like a clone Tyrone type dude that they just threw out there to bucket, shuck and job and do all this other stuff? Because, bro, you must have never either read a history book, took no African American history studies, did none of this stuff, bro. You ain't never took no black class, been to the black museum, been to a black anything, bro. Like, come on, what's wrong with this dude, yo? So it's like, don't he the other thing that going on him too now, right? They starting to call him a fruit cup and shit because he ain't married and shit.
That's what Original said. That's what Original said.
Real rap, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, bro. And then and what's the situation he said about the welfare thing too? That welfare is worse than this.
Yeah, because he know that's a talking point that a lot of these that's a talking point a lot of these redneck Republicans believe it anyways. So like, yeah, that's what he.
Right, ain't shit worse than slavery. I don't care if it's the Holocaust, fucking World War 1, 2, 3, 10 to 20. You gotta add all them shits up into one bowl. It wouldn't even come close or break 25% of what happened with chattel slavery in America.
Word.
Now.
Hey,
and look, I was gonna say back to the Kool Herc situation. So Talib Kweli, you still a bitch. We used to be over here on Twitter early ADOS days saying, hey, reparations for lineage-based Negroes. You know what I mean? So he gets mad and gets upset. Oh, well, you got to include the diaspora and the Caribbean and all this other stuff. No, the hell we don't. CARICOM didn't include us, and they still don't include us to this day. This is why all of a sudden CARICOM is actually for cash payments, because this is what we're fighting for. So with that being said, why would you sit up here and wring your ugly ass face to sit up here to say ADOS and it's trash? Well, hold on, you're talking about black people that's advocating for, trying to be activist, grassroots oriented. You talking about regular everyday people that get up and go to work, school, all this other shit and struggle every day. That's us here in this chat. So who the hell are you to say we're trash? So back to what someone's saying, ain't none of these rappers said anything to Talib about that shit. Not one. He wrote a whole article disparaging Yvette Carnell, all this other shit about us, early days ADOS. You're still just talking about black people, us in general. We're trash to him. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Trinidadian dude or wherever the hell he's from. You know what I'm saying? He's not American. You know what I'm saying? Black American. Keep it real. So why should we allow him to sit up and just, be disparaging us like that? You know what I mean? And then like the real argument said, I said to him, hey, he was saying that, well, ain't nobody in hip hop gonna check me. You're right, because most of these jokers that are in hip hop, they cowards when it comes to sticking up for black people. They cowards, yo. Look what happened just recently with LL Cool J. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Biden calling him a boy. And MC Light dumbass up here sticking up for him.
Now remember, we said that in the space. I said, watch and see. You're gonna have some celebrities come out, black celebrities, pilot, or whoever gonna come out and say, oh, well, they're gonna stick up. It didn't take but about a day or so before she came out with it.
Right. Don't lie on that one. So with that being said, you brought up Usher. So I didn't see the whole skirt.
We're gonna touch up on Usher tomorrow, because that was just like, I'm like, what in the world?
Just for the sake of saying it for the more space, Usher got the headline for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So you correlate that to wearing the skirt. Okay, you want this fame, you want this glory. You ain't even getting paid to perform at the Super Bowl. But obviously, the stuff that's going to come after that, money-wise, people going to listen to your music stream, all this other shit. You'll make money on the back end like that, though. But hey, man, whatever.
Yeah, I always.
Is it single?
Oh, who's that speaking? I'm sorry, I couldn't. That
Single?
can you hear us? Is that Somali? Is that Somali? Hey,
It's me. Is it okay if I can just say something? If that's okay.
that's fine. You're a little bit low. Can we get you louder?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you a little bit better, but go ahead and speak.
Yeah, so this anchor baby stuff is not offensive. It's a legal term. I think we're going to understand that over here. They can just have an anchor baby from wherever and then send their child back to their country for like 18 years and that come back and have the same amount of rights that you guys fought for like 500 years. So the whole immigration system, it's all messed up. Like these loopholes that America gives to immigrants is wild. That's why I say there needs to be mass the force order needs to be sealed and militarized, and a lot of these like
Somali, you kind of break it. You kind of breaking up a little bit, Somali.
given for Americans. Oh, can you hear? I said that birthright citizenship should only be for Americans, not because there's no birthright citizenship anywhere on the planet. I'm from Africa, and no African country has birthright citizenship. Tanzania experimented with it, but they found that it wasn't a good idea, so they just threw it out. And no African country has birthright citizenship, no European. But I don't know why Americans are still having this birthright citizenship for foreigners. A birthright citizenship should only be for American people, not immigrants. And also, when it comes to this Kool Herc stuff, Kool Herc is just a legend and he is a pioneer, but he's a Caribbean. They assimilated into the announcement where island flag was late 90s. Talking about that is your creation. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, Somali, you was speaking pretty good. You just the reception. Are you over here in America or are you someplace else? Somali, Somali, are you over here in America or are you overseas? Okay, I don't think Somali's still there, but appreciate you coming up to speak as well too. And I see we got a new hand up here. Trans is beautiful. Trans, I saw that you was kind of thumbing it down when Somali was saying that, hey, the birthright citizenship that they should get rid of that. That should only be for Americans. I see you was thumbing it down. So go ahead and unmute your mic. It'll be interesting to hear what you got to say about this as well, because I know you are also you're a foreign person as well too. So go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello. Hi, guys. I just want to say thank you for letting me talk in your space. And Somali, what you actually saying was not true, because I know that because through some of my family and stuff like that America is not the only country that has birthright citizenship. And even in Africa, if you want to talk about Africa only, Lesotho has birthright citizenship. South Africa had birthright citizenship until, was it like 1996 or something? And I know there's another country, I'm not sure if was it Chad or but I do know Tanzania also has birthright citizenship, definitely. And Canada also has birthright citizenship. Mexico has birthright citizenship. Brazil, I know, definitely has birthright citizenship. So, yeah, I just want to say that, and you're spreading false information. Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
All righty. Let me say this real quick here. I see Somali's disconnecting, so I don't know. Somali seemed like she was having some issues with her connection as well, too. I don't know if Somali's over here in America now. Oh, looked like she was disconnecting, but then I see her still up here, so I don't know. But real quick, family, we just started the month of October. We definitely need that support. For anybody that can support on Cash App, it is greatly appreciated. We definitely do not get the support we once did. So like I said, and I ask all the time, if you got $1 or $2 that you can contribute to the actual platform, and the platform is more than just a Twitter space, it is greatly appreciated. That is $Newstoter, $Newstoter. You see us up here every day doing the spaces. Well, not every day, Monday through Thursday most of the time, but you do see content coming out daily on Twitter. And if you don't see that content daily Twitter, you need to visit the actual profile page, because every day we're putting out content. So we definitely need support from the Black family. Like I said, it doesn't have to be much. If it's $1 or $2, it's greatly appreciated. The month is new. I know everybody has bills. So we're just looking for those that can support and help out. It is greatly appreciated. I'm going to say the actual, once again, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. Once again, Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. If you do not have Cash App, we have the Venmo and PayPal up in the Jumbotron as well, too. We have the Venmo, PayPal up in the Jumbotron. And you can also support Newstoter here on Twitter. Become a subscriber for just $3 a month. Go to the profile page, the Newstoter profile page, and click subscribe, and you can become a subscriber for just $3 a month. Let me give a shout out to my girl, Aunt Lai. Aunt Lai, sister, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. It is greatly appreciated, sweetie. Now, so we got Cash Gaines up here. Cash, go ahead and unmute your mic. You really low. Like everybody kind of low tonight.
Mike, check. What if I just speak louder?
Oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah, check. Shout out to Newstoter, Black American on both sides for context of the conversation. I'm not going to speak to the anchor babies, but that is a conversation. DJ Kool Herc didn't create hip hop long before there was even breaking. They showed videos on breakdance YouTube pages saying, look at how it came from the continent. Showing videos from the 1950s with people doing spins and flips in the grass or in the sand barefoot. But we got footage of our community, Black Americans, doing certain breakdance steps during tap dance in the 1920s, wearing full suits and socks and shoes. So I don't want to hear that. But for the slavery versus welfare, and even comparing the two, the argument says that both were detrimental to Black Americans, right? Slavery was bad, but welfare is worse, was his argument, right? I argue that with reparations, it addresses the unpaid wages from slavery, and we can get rid of the welfare system. And as was said earlier, the biggest beneficiaries of the welfare system is immigrants and white people, white women. So to me, it's a win-win strategy to tie the two together. And it's actually a trick bag for those white folks that think that we're the welfare queens. Let's stop spending that money on people who are getting free tickets to come here, sending that money back to their home nations, and white folks who helped in our enslavement. It should go to us for our reparations for the work that was already done, and cut these people who are living off the American government dole, cut them straight up. Thank you, Newstoter, for speaking.
All right. Thank you, Cash. Appreciate you. And you're right. And reparations would go ahead and eliminate the actual the so-called reparation system. The welfare system that we have in place in this country today. So and once again, we did a space on that before too. We know, and like you just mentioned, we pointed out that immigrants and of course we always know white folks are actually the biggest users of welfare. But when you're talking about facts, people don't care. Ronald Reagan himself was one of the biggest ones to actually spew all kind of vitriol about the actual social services and everything that people were getting in this country. And his own son was saying that, hey, his family himself benefited off of this kind of stuff. So there are a lot of white folks that have benefited right off of the same system that they turn their nose up to as well, too. So shout out to you on that, Cash. I see my girl Rera's up in the spot, too, and my girl Trouble's up in the spot. See my girl Goddess is up in the spot. Carlos is up in the spot. Yeah, I'm surprised Miss Giselle. I'm surprised Miss Giselle hadn't come up here because I know how passionate she is about these type of topics as well, too. So shout out to Miss Giselle. But yeah, I understand or whatever. Miss Giselle, I know she holds a number of spaces herself too. So y'all make sure y'all check her out as well too. She stays pretty active here on Twitter, and she has a YouTube channel, and she's out there and in the streets and getting it done as well too. So shout out to Miss Giselle as always. So we don't keep it open too much longer, guys. Like I say, we do. And I forgot. I keep saying I was going to put the actual space in there for tomorrow, but I don't know, man. I see people trying to go in on the legendary Dr. Claude Anderson. DJ, we may have to go ahead and address this shit here. I don't like. It's like people done woke up and bumped their heads or whatever. I don't know if they got upset with the space on Saturday or whatever, and everybody done got butt hurt. But now they sitting up here, and a 90-year-old brother who did nothing but try to look out for black people. People sitting up here like crying and whining and stuff like that because he actually wants his people to actually make something out of themselves and do something for themselves and you know uplift themselves as much as they've given more than this country than they've ever received, and people got an issue with that. So we may have to have a space on this right here because I seen a couple spaces and stuff, and people was trash, and I don't go into these spaces, but just some of the titles and stuff like that. Like I don't know what all that. Y'all barking up the wrong tree on that one. This brother's done nothing to anybody else, and that's a problem too as well. When Black Americans sit up here and they actually, trying to better themselves, and you have even other people with the same skin tone get upset about it. Like, I mean, he's not saying anything negative about this person, that person, or whatever. The simple fact he's saying, hey, we should do this and do that for ourselves and stuff like that. And you got people getting upset about it. Like, yeah, we may have to go ahead and hold something on this because it's a bunch of people, going in on Dr. Claude Anderson, and he hadn't done anything to anybody, except like I say, he tried to improve the condition of Black Americans in this country right here, and you got a lot of people upset about that. So yeah, I feel a potential space coming on that. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or whatnot or what, because we do have a space plan, but I think we kind of getting a little bit.
Bump the plan and ship to Wednesday, Thursday. There you go.
Yeah, we may have to, because they sitting up here like they wilding up here, like straight up, like it's
Actors that was hating on you. There you go.
So, Bruce, can I respond to the person that said there's birthright citizenship in Africa?
okay. So Molly, real quick, next time, put your hands up, and it's like I say, is it any way that you can crank that up a little bit louder? Because you were low. I know you probably overseas or something. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me or no?
Yeah, you low, and then it's like you kind of like be breaking up some. But go ahead, I'm gonna try that because I know you might be overseas in your connection. But go ahead.
Yeah, that person is full of shit. Africa has no birthright citizenship whatsoever. You can only get citizenship if your parents are from a particular African country. So if, like, for example, if you're Black American and you go to any African country, you would not get that birthright citizenship. You would have to wait 5 to 7 years to get citizenship. So that person who just came up, who I probably believe is African, they're full of shit and they're not telling you the truth. And birthright citizenship has it has damaged America because these anchor babies can just come in here, go back to their country, and then come back after they're 18 years old, and they have the full rights that you guys did have, that you guys suffered and fought for 500 years. And also, a lot of these immigrants, what they do is they do a lot of crimes, and then they go back to their country to hide. That's what a lot of Hispanics do. Like in California, they'll go down to Mexico for like 6 months or a year, and then come back under a new name. And a lot of Africans do it as well. And for that person that said, "Oh, birthright citizenship is good. All these countries have it." Well, guess what? Look, America's dealing with a full invasion, okay? And birthright citizenship was not for the entire damn globe. It was to rectify slavery. And okay, the original intent was to give citizenship to newly freed slaves, okay, and they're descendants, not some alien from Congo or Guatemala or Somalia that come to bum rush the border. Damn, man, we as Africans have to be honest and stop being so goddamn foolish, man.
Okay, thank you. Somali, real quick before you leave, are you over here in America? Or are you overseas? Because I couldn't hear you before.
Canada. I am in Canada.
Okay, in
So
Canada.
right. So I'm overseas right now.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted because I know the connection is a little bit scratchy there or whatever, but thank you for contributing. Trans, I know you want to respond to that, but before I get to you, I know original had his hand up again, guys. Once again, for those that can contribute on Cash App, $News, so the $News, so the largest black owned Black American news curation platform. Definitely please support even if it's just $1 or $2 that you got that you can contribute. It is greatly appreciated. $News, News total. Go ahead, original.
Yeah, Newstoter. I pulled up on the internet. I did a search for countries with birthright citizenship, and I do not see an African country on here that has birthright citizenship. So Somalia is right. And and remember, you were talking about Dr. Claude Anderson. Remember, I shared with you Dr. Rosie Milligan, where she said some of these dumbass people in California, out in LA, are getting upset with her because she's talking about reparation. See, a lot of people know Dr. Rosie in California. She's been on numerous talk shows. She has held different symposiums. She had this I don't know if she still does it, like a Black Writers Tour and things of that nature. So, but these dumbass black folks don't want her to talk about reparations, saying that she would get these people riled up. That's what you're supposed to do. And they don't want, so if they're talking about Dr. Claude Anderson, it's like they know that the people that was in that room on Saturday, like there's one brother, he's having they're having a gathering over this skating rink that's not too far from my house. And I told them that I would meet him over there. I've already DM'd him to let him know that, let me know how I can identify you or whatever, and we can, hopefully we can see each other and talk. Because I'm carrying some information with me, because I used to skate all the time. I have skates, got the skate bag and everything. But I'm taking some information with me to give to him to see if I can, get him to maybe we can get this stuff out there and show how these black folks have not represented us, how they've taken our vote and represented every other demographic. And so this is going to be interesting to see how these people operate when it comes to us. And I'll land on that.
All right, thank you, original. Real quick, let me give a shout out, and I know I may not be pronouncing your name, Sadada. Let me give a shout out to you and thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Like I say, I do apologize for messing up your name because I know I probably did that. I know Trans wants to respond, so Trans, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, I just want to say Somali has gone, but I just want to say that that's why I was actually specific. I didn't just say Africa gives birthright citizenship. I was specific with the countries that I named. I specifically named Chad, Tanzania, South Africa used to have it, and Namibia both had it because we went through the whole apartheid situation, and which is why some of us have like maybe multiple citizenships or something, and and Canada also has birthright citizenship, so, and Mexico too. So I want to say that. So yeah, just and I support. Of course, I support birthright citizenship. So yeah.
Yeah, but Trans, you can understand why a number of people may not support it, though, right?
I don't know, because I don't know. With me, I just feel like diversity is beautiful. Like we're all mixed somehow. So yeah.
But do you think that somebody that has no ties to a country and simply because they have a child that child should automatically be a citizen of the country? You think that's
What do I think? I think absolutely every child has the right to the country of their birth. That's just how I feel. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I just figure like if you've never been to a country before and simply, so you think, what about the actual, the people that come over here with the sole purpose that, hey, I'm gonna have a child on this land simply so this child can be a citizen and I can end up staying in this country. You think that's the right way of going about things?
If the child is born here, the child should have the right to claim citizenship if they so desire. And as far as the parents, it depends on that situation. So I don't know, but yeah.
Well, you're being honest or whatever. You're giving your honest opinion. I don't personally agree with that. I don't think that simply you should you just simply because you have a child there and that child was conceived and that child was when you actually made that child was actually you were in another land and stuff and you simply like you're getting close to actually delivering and you decide to come and hey, I'm going to have this child here because I think that this country would be better off for this child and for me and the family as well too. I don't personally agree with that. I think that's I think that's a different way. I think most countries in the world don't actually go about looking at it that way either. But America has gone that way. What will that change? We'll see. But I have a little issue with that. Somebody just simply for the simple fact that hey, I'm going to have a child here, and I don't know anything about the country. I don't, I've never paid taxes in the country. I've never done anything in the country whatsoever. But I can have a child here, and that child automatically is as much a citizen as somebody that is already a citizen of the country and they have a child. I mean, I just, I think that's a little unfair to me personally. If I have a child here and somebody else just gets here tomorrow and they have a child, our kids are basically on equal footing and I'm a descendant and I've been in this country, my bloodline's been in this country for 150, 200 years, however long the country was here and this and that, possibly going back to even when the country was actually a colony. I just, I don't know. I feel a different way about that. I know a lot of people do, but like I said, you're entitled to your opinion as well too. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. I just think I don't know. I don't know if that's just the best way of going about. I know America did that as a way to populate the country and this and that and everything else, but I really, 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 have some issues with the way that takes place. But like I said, that's me. That's my personal feeling, and you have your personal feeling as well too. So I can understand that. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. So I guess on that note, guys, we're gonna get ready to unless anybody has something else they want to add. The space been going close to 2 hours, and that's so we got K3 coming up here. I'll let K3 get it in.
Real quick, she just mentioned that a lot of the countries that had birthright citizenship also had apartheid. We should realize that there's something to be said about the fact that those two things were in tandem. See what I'm saying? And the fact that one is gone and the other one just now got rid of, like who fought to get rid of it? What was their reasoning behind that? The point is that a majority of countries don't have it, and how it's being misused against Black Americans is the issue that we're bringing up in this room. Not just, well, what does a child want to call themselves once they get old enough to know where they were born? We're talking about politics. We're talking about scarcity. We're talking about real people's issues that are happening in the modern day, and especially in America, where a lot of the issues, a lot of the policies were written by white supremacists, white terrorists. So it's a weapon that's used against us. Shout out to the Somali dude who said he understood the issue. And I don't understand why when we say it's an issue and it's something that harms us, someone will say, well, look, there are some other countries that do it though, so don't act like America's the only one. That's not the conversation we're having. That's literally not the conversation we're having. To bring up the few examples or exceptions to the rule doesn't show that it doesn't harm Black Americans. So it's off topic and disrespectful to those who are listening, obviously.
Let me say this real quick too, guys. Tomorrow, I think we may go ahead and cover, like I say, Dr. Claude Anderson. Some of these spaces they've been kind of having some issues with the elders, so I think we may go ahead and hold a space on that. If anybody has anything that you want to talk about with Dr. Anderson, feel free to go ahead and DM me. If there's anything you want to let me know that you want to discuss about Dr. Anderson tomorrow, go ahead and DM me. We'll add it to the discussion. Let me know. Go ahead and DM me tonight or tomorrow sometime, and I'll try my best to go ahead and add that into the actual discussion tomorrow night as well too. So if you guys got any if you guys have anything that you want to talk about with Dr. Claude Anderson tomorrow night, definitely go ahead and DM me so we can go ahead and we can look over that and we can add that into the discussion. K3, I see you came up here. Did you want to go ahead and get something in before we go ahead and close this space out? You there, K3? I know K3 didn't have a hand up, but I was trying to see if they want to say anything before we close the space out. K3, can you hear me? K3 may not be there. Okay. All right. Well, like I say, guys, if you got anything that you're thinking about that you feel like you want to discuss tomorrow night in the Dr. Claude Anderson space, let me know. We'll go ahead and we'll touch that up. Dr. Claude Anderson was gracious enough to come here this weekend and talk to the people and everything. And like I said, and there's been a number of spaces popping up, and people, kind of saying some things and stuff maybe they shouldn't be saying, to put it nicely. So we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that tomorrow night. You guys, definitely thank you once again for coming out supporting the space as always. Definitely be sure to do those polls. If y'all have not, those polls are out there. Go ahead and answer and go ahead and vote in the polls. We got 3 polls going on tonight, or going on actually for the next couple of days. So make sure you guys go ahead and vote in the poll about the Anchor Baby, DJ Kool Herc, and slavery and welfare. Go ahead and definitely go ahead and put that in there as well. So, guys, we will see y'all tomorrow night in the Dr. Claude Anderson space, guys. So, like I said, if you find anything that you want to speak about, go ahead and DM me, and we will definitely talk about it. So, peace. Everybody have a good night. See y'all tomorrow night.